Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can you hear me? That works. Yes, my name is Jens Wagner, and I'm from the Danish architect firm Kobe, located in Copenhagen. And I would like to talk about this kindergarten we did also in Copenhagen. It's a kindergarten for 182 kids, 40 adults, and approximately 1,600 square meters. Actually a quite large kindergarten, one of the largest kindergartens in Copenhagen. This is a map of the center of Copenhagen, and in the left side of the picture you can see on the red spot where the site is marked, and it's the neighborhood called Frederiksberg in Copenhagen. And in the right side I also made a little mark where Kobe is located in Copenhagen. If we look closer to the site, it's actually quite a unique site. It's at the end of a road with these very common Copenhagen blocks in 5 or 6 level storage. And then we have to the east this very suburban neighborhood with villas, and also down by the path you have these really small garden houses. And then to the south we have this huge churchyard, which also works as or functions as a park. So it's a really nice area, or just. So the idea was we have this footprint, these 1,600, so we had actually a huge block that we should put in this place, but then we also have the small villas. So our idea was to break this block up in 11 small houses that speaks also together with the small garden houses and the villas close to it. And here you see it in a section how you can see it's something in between these apartment blocks and the small houses, and how we do something in between. And also the idea with breaking this block down was to make it intimacy for the children, so they don't every day go into this huge machine of a kindergarten, but they got their own small houses they can point at and say that it's my group up in that house there, and it's not my group room in this big building someplace. So that was also the idea. And then also inside the house make even more small houses. So some of the rooms are made as a house, and we got small playhouses inside the building. Here we see the plan of the building with these 11 houses built together, and you enter the building from the north. Actually, this is the first floor plan. So, and then we have these. We have a kind of west wing and east wing in the building, where we have these 2 winter gardens. That's like the 2 hearts of the building. A triple high room where all the group rooms and all the other houses, their room connects to these winter gardens. And the building is also programmed so the group rooms, they lie together 2 and 2, so they can be 1 unit or 2 units, and all of them, they have what can you say? They lie next to this winter garden, where also the kids have their wardrobes. And then on every floor we have these. There's an exit to a roof garden, so even though you are staying at the first or the second floor, you always have an access to a roof garden. The idea of the house, the main idea was to kind of make a house that is as naive as a kid's drawing of a house, where you only have like one door, one window, maybe two windows. You have the pitched roof and maybe the chimney falling down almost. So this is actually how the project looked when we won the competition in 2011. And as you can see, it's a wooden facade, and the two winter gardens are glass houses, and then the roof, the three houses with the roof terraces and gardens are wooden lamellas. And here's another picture from the competition. And then we won the project and did the detailed design, and there was quite a narrow budget on this project, and we made a project with maybe a double facade, if it was a regular building in 1,600 square meters. So we actually already knew that we might have some issues, but already here we tried to really simplify it even more. And as you can see here, we only got one type of window, so that was also something to minimize the amount of different things in the building. But then we had the tender, and we got all the prices from the contractors, and the cheapest one was, I think it was 25% above our budget. Then we really went back to our table and said, what the hell can we do now? Should we draw a totally new project? But actually, I think it was really good for the project, but then, because then we had to rethink every aspect of the building again, and especially this huge amount of facade material and roof. We also got the facade material on the roof, of course, makes it even more expensive. And then the two glass houses were also quite complex to build. So we looked at Sweden. And old barn houses and industrial building you built earlier in wood now turns out less like this, where you got a facade and a roof cladded in steel plates. So that was actually more or less the idea, and then still have the profile of the wooden facade. But we still had the winter garden issue with our small glass houses, and that we more or less solved in another way I will come back to. But here's the project as it looks now. All the black buildings are the heated ones with the group rooms inside, and the two white houses are the winter gardens, triple high winter gardens. And then we still kept three wooden houses with the black painted lamellas, which actually have the same profile as the Plannja plate we used. And also, it is, I think it's the most common Plannja plate we used on this project, the 2105 it is called. And here's another picture in daytime from the churchyard. Actually, I have a small funny story. That was when the contractor was building this, the kindergarten. An old couple came and looked at the building, and they said, "What is it that you're building? Is it a church?" But so actually, I also think this that we made it even more. What can you say? We simplified even more with this metal facade, and also the black and white makes it. The monochrome colors makes it even more simplified. So actually also, you could say, okay, to resemble a kindergarten with a church. That might not be a most positive thing, but also think we are lying next to a churchyard, so I also think to make what can you say, a discrete building next to this churchyard, that you don't make somebody makes modern kindergartens building there screaming out loud. So I think it's and also I think what the reason also we could we could choose this actually cheap facade panel was that we kept our very we have these very simple windows, frameless windows, and also we were very noticed about making sharp edges every time the facade goes from facade to roof and the gables, and so actually and this is some of my own private construction site photos, where you see that a black painted metal facade is not totally dead. It's also, I think, every time we're out there, it's a new impression you got. And here it's almost silver grayish, the facade. So, I can see I'm. And also here it almost connects to the white building and melting it together. And also in a more grayish weather, I think it has something. One of the last thing is also actually the winter gardens, how we then solved making these still outdoor, kind of outdoor rooms, was to clad them inside with the same Plannja plate, just perforated plates. So you got this impression of that you got a facade inside, so it's a bit melting together with the outside room. And also here from the down floor, and here some of the small houses that are inside the buildings. So, but finally, I would also say that I think the metal plate has, we got a lot of positive feedback on the building, but also quite a lot negative feedback, because people often go and see like, but it's an industrial building, or so they can't see it maybe in the same overall scale perspective. So, but it's really nice that it's actually to make a building that makes some kind of debate, I think.
Thank you. How will the white parts look in a couple of years? How will they age?
They will, of course, get dirty, and that we can't run from. And also, it will not have the same. It will not patinate as wood does, but hopefully it will still keep black and white for a long time.
You said that it looks almost like a child painting. Why didn't you choose more color?
There was also the idea that also, especially inside, it's also the only color is the wooden interior, and our idea was also that the kids should do the painting inside. They should put up drawings with colors, and outside it should be the playground and the nature that does the color. So that was like the idea to do it simple.
The last comment here is amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.